but we knew instinctually, both he and I knew that whatever it was a quadruped. It was on four legs, and it was nasty. And it began to growl. It was a threatening growl. It was very evil sounding, and we took off, like immediately took off. Now, I want to point out that the light did show up on the videotape, the light that came on, but the sound of my name being called did not show up on the videotape, even though two people heard it, and the growling did not show up on videotape, even though two people heard it. But we get back to where our team was set up, the base camp, and Dolores was there. Of course, she said that she was not able to come down there. So what we were left with was a light in the night, my name being called, and then the growling. So on a subsequent expedition, I took down two other psychics down there. I took down Leah Madden, who's a very gifted intuitive, and Patricia Coleman, who also fantastic. She's a psychic out of Erie, Pennsylvania. And both of them, separately from talking to each other, both said that where my name was being called out, there was definite fairy activity going on, and where we heard the growling, there was definitely an evil presence down there, as if two different worlds were battling for supremacy over that same area. So, according to psychics, absolutely, psychics who know these types of things, that what they're saying is that you can have certain areas that have an overlapping of different phenomena going on. I do think that there's two researchers that I really am looking forward to in the world of Fae, and one is Terry Seach, and the other one is the other intuitive that I had mentioned, Leah Madden. I think women are much more in tune to these types of things, and also the phenomenon is also attractive to women more than men. I think that's why so few people are involved in the world of fairy, is because for a man to do it automatically seems a very feminine thing to go with as well. And so many people in the world of paranormal research happen to be men. I think that we are going to see an influx of women coming in, and especially whenever it comes to the world of Fae, I think it's going to be imperative that we have more women coming in still. But I think that these two ladies are going to do some superb research in the world of fairy. But the other situation that is going on down there as well too, where I heard my name being called from, there's also a cemetery up in that area. Now,
that makes sense.
Yeah. And the other thing too, whenever we think of ghosts and everything, let's think back to whenever we were talking about the Romans. The Romans saw the fairy world as inhabited by the deceased, the living deceased. There's also a claim in Ireland as well too that fairies are basically ghosts. They're these in between entities that not quite pass on through. I'm not sure if I completely espouse all that because let's put it this way. I actually got was lucky enough to do some research in Scotland, and I was looking at
Ron, I'm gonna get you to hold on right there. We are late for our first break of the show, and I do want to hear that story though. So please remember that for when we come back after the break. You're listening to Spaced Out Radio. I am your host, Dave Scott. We're going to take a quick break here. Tonight we're talking with Ronald Murphy. Fairy talk. It's a lot bigger than what I thought. Tune in. Second half hour coming up right after this. Calling all humans. Let's do this. Where the heck are you, humans? This is Patrick Webster Small, and I'm going to bring you the Webster phenomena right here on Space.
For relaxation, Reiki, or readings, no matter where you are. Spaced Out Radio listeners will also receive 10% off their first visit. It's time for you to make time for you.
The Spaced Out Radio Network can be found at spacedoutradio.com. Hi there, this is Dave Scott. Here you can join the latest on our weekly shows and news from around the world involving UFOs, cover-ups, cryptids, ghosts, and more. Read articles from our very talented staff and check out our weekly tarot card reading from psychic Catherine. You can also sign up for free on our forum and tell us about your experiences. SpacedOutRadio.com. Always live, always interactive.
Ready to find out what's flying up in the sky? Me too. Hi there, this is Rich Giordano. Please join me every Sunday night at 7 for the AZ UFO Show. It's a fast and compelling 2-hour show on UFOs, extraterrestrials, conspiracy theories, and much more. Every week we will have great guests and great topics to try and answer the ultimate question, are we alone in this universe or not? So tune into the AZ UFO Show with me, Rich Giordano, right here on the Spaced Out Radio Network at spacedoutradio.com.
Would you like to connect with Dave and his guests? Learn more at spacedoutradio.com for the latest news, features, photos, and articles. Spacedoutradio.com is where you can stay up to date on what's happening around the world and up in the stars. And now, back to Dave Scott. Gotta love some really good music coming out of the break here as we talk with Ronald Murphy tonight on Spaced Out Radio. Hey, I want to make sure that you understand that spacedoutradio.com is full of information left, right, and center all times on Spaced Out Radio Network. And you can learn all about our new shows. You can learn all about what's going on Spaced Out Radio at the time. And, of course, all the guests we've had previously and currently on the Spaced Out Radio Network. It's a lot of fun. We've worked hard to put it together, and I hope you also take the time to sign up for our free forum on the Spaced Out Radio website as well. Tonight, we are talking with Ronald Murphy. He is an author who has discussed and written lots about the fairies and the fae and everything that goes along with it. And Ron, I'm going to just tell you right off the bat, I'm actually blown away at how big and how much there is to this fairy phenomenon.
Yeah, it's quite massive if you would actually, break it down. And if you would look at something, I like the term, I didn't coin this term, but the idea of a goblin universe or a goblin realm, this world where supernatural phenomenon is natural, that this sometimes every now and then leads to our own world. I think that makes the whole world of paranormal research, you look at it completely differently. You think that, what we're seeing as ghosts or Bigfoot or UFOs is actually normal for another world, and it's just, simply bleeding over into our own every now and then.
It's very interesting to me indeed that these types of spirits, entities, whatever you want to call them, fairies, have really helped form the whole crypto world, because a lot of people believe that Bigfoot exists. A lot of people believe that Dogman or Skunk Ape or something along those lines, sea monsters exist. But to see little around in bright white light in a forest, it's just kind of unfathomable, because a lot of people will say that maybe it's just energy, maybe it's spirit, and yet you believe there's something more to that.
Absolutely. I believe that there's a capability of there being more to it. I believe, that if fairy does exist, then we're talking about a completely different strand of not only physics, but the whole idea of just how the whole universe works. If the world of the fae was researched, then we're talking about, the different dimensions. We're talking about everything from chaos theory to quantum physics. I mean, we're talking about a whole different category on how we're to look at the paranormal. That, it needs to be an educated approach. It needs to be a mathematical approach, because these things need to be tested. If what I'm witnessing with light